That's not the case. Like all of these Dark Knights have turned into their forms of Bruce Wayne in really different, interesting ways that I wasn't expecting.
Which is good, because, I mean, if all of them merged with somebody else, it would get boring. It's like, okay, we already know.
Yeah,
So,
well, the
so
Barry Allen one, I thought that kind of set the precedent for what was going to happen, but then it didn't. It got different. Each situation was completely different.
and like you said, the Batman Who Laughs is the one I think everybody wants to see, because he's been in every single one shot. He's like the leader of the Dark Knights. What's his story? And I think that's the one everybody's just dying to see. I hope, like all of these, it lives up to the hype.
I was thinking that this is more like, um, this is like a Justice League horror story. Scott Snyder's known for writing horror books, and this is almost like a horror story told with superheroes, and it just at this moment in it, it seems really hopeless for what's all
Oh
happening.
yeah,
Like
it's
everything is just
well,
devastated. Like not, not to say that.
you got Superman tied to that thing when he went to the multiverse to try to find Bruce. You've got
Yeah,
the other members of the Justice League are now in their own personal bat caves of death and torment, as we
yeah,
saw in
and
the
well, and
Flash.
Bruce Wayne is with Superman on that machine, I believe, isn't he right next to him?
We should find out what's going on with him, because they had that one shot coming out called Batman the Lost, so we should
Yeah.
figure that out. You have the other heroes like Doctor Fate and everything trying to get nth metal and find things. Um,
It's a pretty wide encompassing event. Not as many heroes in it as like Crisis, because Crisis had every single
everybody.
person in it back from the Golden Age. But I mean, this is touching on a little bit of stuff from Crisis with the Monitor Towers, and there are quite a bit of heroes you weren't expecting. Like Doctor Fate is coming in pretty heavy in this,
Yeah.
and the Council of Immortals with you got Vandal Savage and the
Phantom Stranger.
Phantom Stranger and all the Immortals from DC's world are all in the Hall of Doom. And
You got the Plastic Man egg.
Plastic, I think Elongated Man is somewhere in there too. I can't remember for sure, but I thought he was in there, but I could be
Um,
wrong.
and then we know that Hawkman is going to have a part in it towards the end.
Well, it's all based on Carter Hall's writings in his diary, so it's all based on that.
And then Sandman.
Yeah, oh yeah, and Dream the Endless is in it too.
Yeah. So you got all that. Now, once again, we ask, how is this going to tie into Doomsday Clock? Because Jeff Johns said everything's connected.
Well, Tom King, I believe, said, or the Tom King tweet I saw that he said, yeah, Doomsday Clock, metal, everything's connected. So we'll see.
We shall
That's
see.
coming up this next month. So we got to everybody get ready to get your Doomsday Clock on because that's coming up this next month.
Yeah. All right, Chief, what else did you read this weekend?
I read Batman and Superman and Batman White Knight. Batman White Knight is pretty good. Getting into number 2 this time. Joker. Apparently the Joker is cured, and even behind closed doors, we didn't know that there's 2 Harley Quinns apparently. Uh, Jack Napier, as they're calling him from the Batman movie, they're calling the Joker Jack Napier. He apparently Batman force-fed him a bunch of mental pills in the first episode, and it seemed to shock him out of the Joker persona. So he's taken off. He's not stained white like he is normally. He's wearing makeup in this version, and so he took the makeup off. He's become a normal guy, and now he's fighting, saying that Batman and the GCPD are the reason that he's the Joker. He said they've got a crooked deal with Arkham, and said that crime is money, and that the real estate market centers on crime, and they call them bat zones. When Batman goes into a poor neighborhood and fights, it's declared a bat zone, and all the property value drops, and then all the rich people invest in it and build it up and make a lot of money. So now they got Batman's head screwed up, thinking that he's the cause for everything. And the Joker has said that Arkham made him the Joker. He said he went in a petty criminal and came out the Joker, and he's blaming it on the GCPD and Arkham. And said that everything that's led up to their city of villains is because of GCPD has been importing villains like this and creating villains. So now he has become kind of a political figure that's going around trying to discredit Batman, saying that Batman is the reason why there's all these criminals. But he's actually also recruiting villains like he's become a more sane version of himself, but he's trying to discredit Batman, so he's getting in league with like the Penguin and the Mad Hatter and Clayface and a bunch of guys. They're going to try to bring Batman down.
Hmm.
But it's pretty interesting because we find out in this one he goes to meet Harley Quinn, and it's the Harley Quinn in like the short skirt like cheerleader outfit Harley Quinn, the modern Harley Quinn now.
Right.
He gets with her, and she's just nuts. And she says, "Put the makeup back on and let's go rob something." And he's like, "No, really, I'm really straightened out. I don't want to do that anymore." And then all of a sudden, another Harley Quinn shows up, the one in the red and black jester outfit shows up and kicks the other Harley Quinn down and said, "There's two Harley Quinns."
Hmm.
And she said, when you became too abusive, I replaced myself with her, and you didn't even notice." And he's like, "Well, how could you have just replaced somebody that I was so close to?" And she said, "Because you're a megalomaniac, and you just didn't notice. You're too obsessed with Batman to have even noticed I totally changed people on you." So the real Harley Quinn shows up and takes him, and now Harley Quinn has decided to take her costume off too, and now they're just Harley and Quinzel and Jack Napier and their political figures trying to destroy Batman. And it's pretty interesting. I also read Batman 34, I think it is, with the Batman and Catwoman are going to meet Talia al Ghul. He's going to tell her they're getting married and that they want nothing more to do with her or whatever. And so there's a big Batman Talia al Ghul fight. And then next issue, keep an eye out. We're finally going to get Catwoman Talia al Ghul showdown with swords.
Nice.
And that's be badass. Superman is on Apocalypse, was kind of kidnapped. Lois, Jonathan Kent, and Superman were transported to Apocalypse because Luthor is there. Luthor, wearing the Superman emblem in his armor, the new kind of nicer, kinder Luthor, has showed up on Apocalypse, and he has told them that he is the savior that they've been waiting for. And he goes through their lore about who the savior is. You find out the savior is Superman. That's the reason Darkseid's been trying to. That's why the Darkseid's so hell bent on killing Superman all the time, is because in Apocalypse lore, Superman is the prophecy that will rid the world of Darkseid and make the world a better place. And they thought it was Luthor at first, so they all worshiped Luthor. Well, Luthor told them, "Well, I'm not that guy, but I do work through him." And he opened up a portal, and Superman just popped into the world, and was there. And he's like, "Luthor, what have you gotten me into?" And he tries to explain to him, but you find out it says that the savior of Apocalypse, he's going to come. He's going to be a human. He'll walk through the ashes of Apocalypse when Darkseid is dead, and he's the son. He's the orphan son of farmers. And so they're obviously talking about Kal-El,
right?
Prophecy. But Luthor capitalized on that and kind of took over Apocalypse, because Apocalypse mostly think Darkseid is dead and there's just chaos going on. Darkseid, as we know, is a baby, possibly teenager at this point.
Yeah.
He's been reborn and he's growing up. So Batman used him to open the gate to the dark multiverse. But we know Darkseid is around, but he's not in Apocalypse, and Apocalypse is just in chaos. Lois Lane also becomes one of the female Furies with Granny Goodness, because she's captured by Granny Goodness, but then they're attacked by a giant dredge worm on Apocalypse, and Lois picks up the gun and helps fight off the dredge worm. So Granny Goodness gives her armor and says she has the heart of a female Fury, and makes Lois Lane a female Fury. So that's pretty interesting. So that's all. I think that's all I've read this week so far. Batman White Knight, and Superman, and Devastator.
So that's your comics for this week. Make sure you head out to your local shop on Wednesday, today, or whenever Wednesday is, and pick up the books. Go support your local
Good
comics.
stuff. Still some ones I want to read. Green Lanterns I want to read. I got them Friday. I read one of them Friday. Didn't have much time the last couple of days, but I'm trying to catch up. So I've got a few more I want to read. But those were the best. I picked the best: Batman, Superman, Batman White Knight, and Batman Dark Knights tie-in. Good stuff.
Yep. So that'll do it for us this week. And I do want to know, I went to Disney Store while we were talking, And if you go to characters, yes, if you go to characters, right, search merchandise for characters. There's Moana, there's Stitch, there's Belle. Then there's fucking Porgs. Porgs has their own fucking character section on Disney Shop. What the fuck?
You're gonna like them. When you see it, you're gonna say, "Oh, God damn it, they're adorable."
No, I'm gonna say, kill the porg, kill the porg, kill the
My wife,
porg, kill him right now.
I suppose they gotta have something in there that appeals to everybody, I guess. But I mean, as long as they're not overbearing in the story, I'll deal with it. Like the Ewok, I hate the fucking Ewoks, but the Jedi's awesome. The final showdown with Vader and Luke is one of the best scenes in the whole trilogy.
Yeah, but why do I want a porg silk tie?
Don't buy it. You don't need it.
I don't need to
Some
buy it.
asshole's gonna buy that, but you won't.
I don't need to buy it. I'm just looking. I'm looking at stuff. I like stuff. I'm looking at stuff. All right. So, I'm going to look at kitchen and dining too. So, we want to thank you all for joining us once again back to our regularly scheduled programs. Of course, you can catch us every place and every time. Where, Crystal?
The Nerd Rage Renegades are on the air every Wednesday on Podbean, Stitcher, Player FM, iTunes, Google Play, and every Thursday on GamingRebellion.com, Filling the Void Podcast Network, and now iHeartRadio.
Once again, big thanks to Filling the Void for putting us on iHeartRadio. Big win for us. That's a big win. iHeartRadio, people. Make sure you go to YouTube.com. Check out the commentary track for Legend of Bigfoot.
And Gargoyles coming up.
Gargoyle is coming up, and stay tuned for the time machine I found at a yard sale.
We're going to do that next weekend because I'm going to watch it once first before we go through it, so I kind of have an idea what's going on.
We should do Birdemic at some point. We should do Birdemic.
Birdemic is so bad. Have too many people done it? Let's do a poll. We'll do a poll on the Twitter. You put a poll on the Nerd Rage Twitter and see if anybody is sick to death of Birdemic or not. Because so many people have done it. We'll find out.
All right. So you can follow Chief at SpaceShift75. You can follow me at the Nerd Rage Renegades official Twitter. Of course, Facebook.com/NRR Truth Radio. Over there on the Facebook page. Look for us on Instagram. Nerd Rage Renegades on the Instagram page. And until next time, Chief, let's go find us a time machine at a yard sale.
Let's go. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Nerd Rage Renegades.